Welcome back to your channel. My name is Brad, Supercoach Pro. Oh my god, I almost did it, folks. I almost went live without adding myself to stage, which means it would have been on mute the entire time. Oh, this is one thing that's actually sort of frustrated me a little bit before I get into any of the chat that I'm sure will appear. We were talking the other night on just weird, wacky picks, and sometimes it's actually not a bad hook. Like, some of the shouts are pretty crazy and obviously don't always pay off, but there's a few guys I want to quickly chat about. I know I mentioned. Now I'm not saying I hate the ifs, the ifs and buts and maybes and whatnot. But man, sometimes you actually got to trust your gut here. This is not a Ben Keays podcast, but so many group chats. I was like, yeah, Ben Keays, and everyone's like, yuck. And he does this shit, and you're like, okay, I should have listened to myself. And sometimes this is not saying anything like that. Your rank is because you've explored these ideas, but even tonight, like you look at Fort, his solo ruck, and they're picks that people wouldn't really consider. But for 270 with Oscar McInerney back in the side, I kind of considered. I was like, what happens if you put Fort at flex? I was like, no, that's a disgusting pick. And sometimes you overanalyze things because people. I didn't really mention anything about Fort, but something I was thinking about was like these picks that sometimes you keep to yourself. Maybe just full send and you got nothing to lose anyway. I mean, I obviously do, but the Ben Keays one, like he's break even at the point of the other day's recording was 3, and now he's got a 120. And this was the thing for me. I knew the tough opposition would come, but that's his old side. So it's little things like that that you kind of just go, all right, maybe I should have just played with my gut there and just gone, full send. Berry's another one that got mentioned the other night too. This was a perfect example of these suggestions. Like a lot of the time, people hooked up these players, and we should just full send. It is that time of the season. I'm not saying necessarily that they're keepers, but Jared Berry was literally one of the ones named the other night. Go back on the podcast on the live stream a couple of nights ago. But look here, like 83, 92, 110, subbed out here, whatever the hell happened, 11 minutes, the concussion. A genuine good pick. Even for next week, like I don't hate it at all. Like he's so consistent. Um, so yeah, some of these tight ass sort of picks are actually worth a punt, regardless. Like Keays coming into this week was similar to Bolton's situation. Bolton had that disgusting 5, and people were like, "Oh yuck, no Keays." He did a bloody, what was it? He did a. I'm still considering him next week now. Seriously, he did an 8 at the MCG, but we considered Bolton, who did a 5 against St Kilda. And people go, nah, don't do it. I know he's like, he'd have to be about 28 years old, maybe even 30. I don't even know. But just the way Crows are playing, he's such a defensive player. You separate those scores. There's a couple ugly ones, but for an F6, like who cares? What? Honestly, I'm not going to actually listen to any negative. If I've looked into these players, I'm actually just going to go with it. I'm not even going to ask people what I think. I'm going to just fucking send it. I'm not getting pissy. I'm just saying, like, just if you've done your research, and this is like a shout out to Aqua here, he's shouted out some random freaking picks, and yeah, you can shout them out and not go with them, but this is the point where actually start getting piss you off because this is what pissed me off. I probably should have listened to my gut and gone, you know what, I can make money off Keays. I can flip him to Horn Francis in 2 or 3 weeks. So this is like, now I'm highly considering McInerney. Like McInerney's that disgusting pick that no one's going to go near, but if you've done the research and you think it could pop off, like there's a high chance that you just go, you know what, who cares what old mate behind the mic says? I'm going to pick this disgusting pick. So I think it's just something to consider. Like no one really mentioned Fort. Sure, Fort was one that I reckon we haven't missed, but there's certainly Vincentini now that I'm considering. I'm going, wow, do you go Vincentini? Like, do you just take a punt? I mean, he plays Gorn next week. There's a Sweet comeback. That'd be annoying for that pick. But yeah, there's some really weird sneaky gems, and I think that we're too vanilla with some of this shit, and hence the Neil factor. Like I went Shannon Neil, and I thought, no, yeah, maybe this might pop off. And it's the ones sometimes that you do think are ugly, you don't mention, and then they shit the bed. But that was a last minute, what do you call it? A freak out trade, to be fair. And then Wyman was one that was mentioned, and I didn't like Wyman as a pick. He had almost moments. So I don't. It's not like the pick was a huge fail, but the flip side to that is this is the shit thing about these rookies too. Pedua 37, like the time on ground was awful for Pedua. Now we could have thought, he wasn't sub as in the game, but he could be subbed out, blah blah blah. Instead, they went and subbed out Butts here for a tactical. So these rookies are just really killing us. Petering going to get a suspension, you'd believe. 1 week, the 57, the swing tackle on Neil. Speaking of which, Zorko is so underwhelming in the wet. The way Brisbane plays sometimes, Wilmot taking kick-outs and just bombs it down the freaking line, it just really shits me. At least Zorko actually generally tries to find a target when he can. Whereas Wilmot and these other guys that take the kick-outs out of Zorko, never again am I picking a guy that's 35 anyway, mind you. Just does your head in. Then Neil could have finished the game off. He had. I don't think he's washed. No doubt that he's still such a jet, but he kicks that. He had so much ample opportunity, no pressure, and misses that. McCluggage, that's fine. He's been what he's been all year. And Dunkley, this is the annoying thing about Dunkley owners are taken for a roller coaster. He 70 then a 120, then a 70 120. Anyway, I think that's enough ranting. Dawson's consistent because he can take brilliant marks and play up forward. The only issue with him is if he doesn't convert the scoreboard, you're going to see a 70 or 80 score at some point. Or if he tags himself or his own shadow. Sam Berry was a bit of a mediocre pick in the end, a couple of 70s. He did that 130 and everyone's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes to 70-something last week and then 66 this week. Phil Thorpe, hard for these big guys in the wet, to be fair. This is really weird. I've noticed this a lot in teams. When a player gets reported for something, they just go into their shell. I think it's just about every freaking player I've ever seen do a tackle first, second quarter. It's like something in the head goes, nah, I don't deserve to be out there today. So that's enough of my rant. Let's get into the actual chat here. I've just been talking a little bit of shit here, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts about the game. I watched some of it. I just feel like it's going to be a long week of Supercoach too, because it's been drawn out for obviously the public holiday and all the rest of it. So it's just going to be one of those weeks where you're like, hurry up, walk out, show me my ranking. Did I go red or green? So anyway, here we are. So after 7 minutes, I'm final it, and you guys say something. So Duck Post up the Crom. Yeah, well done to the Crom, honestly. Hats off to you guys. Imagine this whole time my mic wasn't working. I'd be so shitty. I know, yeah, honestly. This is not a Ben Keays podcast, but this is half the reason why I'm jumping on. I feel so frustrated looking into Keays and then going, nah, he's got the bye round 16 or whatever the hell it is. I think this is the issue I've learned tonight. Right, this is my take on it. I don't really care if there's value and you want to stew it because the value's there and he's 100k cheaper for what you can do next week. Who cares if it screws one of your buys? I don't care if that's an unpopular opinion, but I think at some point you've got to take value over people's opinions on injury-prone players. Like, I know what I'm paying for with Stewart, so maybe I'm just going to get him regardless of that freaking buy. Maybe I back out of Cripps and bank myself 100k. But I'm certainly not going to go, all right, I'm not going to listen to my gut anymore because that's what got me here. Like, I should have just kept Keays in my head and gone, you know what, don't put him out there. Just trade him in, and then if he pays off, then you'll go get genius. If he doesn't, then, well, at least he had a crack at something because, I don't know, I just full send for these yucky picks. That you guys have seen some really weird picks that you guys have sent through, and you reckon they're scoring all right in recent history. Like, even like a Dan Houston's a shout. If you honestly believe Dan Houston's going to do well, then just pick him. Go against the freaking crowd. Because I tell you what, Supercoach becomes so boring when you see 18,000 coaches trade in bonds and you're like, yeah, no worries, just cool. Like, but you do something a little bit against the grain and grab somebody like that just pops off for 100 or 200k cheaper that can do the same job, then you're in a really good position. Anyway, I'm sick of ranting for that, but whatever. Corey, that scaling in the last quarter was crazy. 900 points were needed. I wondered why Zorko went up. Was it King, Neil, and Will putting an all-time disrespect act in the fourth? Yeah. I think Brisbane are probably one of the most frustrating teams to own players, and this is why I've only got Zorko, and I think that's it, really, Zorko. I couldn't be stuffed with Neil. Duckface not being in a position to offload Soligo finally pays off. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Sometimes you just got to hold these shitty picks, and you get gifted every now and then. But whatever. It is what it is. With Duckface, I'm happy for you. Jeez, how on earth did Brissy lose that? Unbelievable. Yeah, I know, right? I hope you saw my mic drop in that chat. Scoobs, if you're in the chat, if you, Josh, well, I remember I said I'd VC Zorko and bring in Pedwa. Look how that turned out. Yeah, but at least you had a punt. At least you didn't back out of it. You just went, all right. Most people go on Pedwa because he's a rookie downgrade. It made sense, right? The only reason I couldn't do it on my side is I have Cooper Simpson. So if Pedwa got dropped, I'd be stuffed. So Pedwa was the right call. Just how are you meant to know that he's going to sit 10 minutes on a bench? Honestly, it's infuriating. I'm actually feeling the shittiness of Supercoach tonight. Even though it's only Zorko, this game becomes so frustrating sometimes. I'm actually here for a vent. I'm here for my own vent, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. Anyway, I just reading some random group chat there. I shouldn't have done that. My apologies, but. Wicks, if Justin McInerney has a big game as well, you might as well be a psychic. No. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to come on here and say everything I fucking pick is an elite pick and I'm a master because look, you can pick 100 picks and 99 can go well because you picked 100 bloody options. But I don't know. Sometimes, more often than not, when you're having a good season, you just got to back your own intuition because it's just one of those seasons where not everything goes right. But because you're in form as a Supercoach pick or player or whatever, generally your gut's backed, and you're like, yep, I should do this because it's what I've been doing all year, barring Shannon Neal and a few other picks, of course. I definitely got read over trainer wrong. I've done a lot of things wrong, so I'm not saying I'm a fucking psych. That's for sure. That is the last thing I want to be called on Supercoach. I don't even want to be called a know-it-all or anything. I'm just saying sometimes these disgusting picks is what I'm trying to clarify here are actually really good to pay off. Because people will dismiss ugly picks just due to the name of them never being Supercoach relevant for at least a few seasons. So they'll dismiss them just based on namesake. They won't actually look into the statistics or what happened in that game to get a low score. But you might have watched all the Adelaide games and seen what made Keays score that score. You know what I mean? I was like McInerney. Aqua mentioned that. What is his name? McInerney, and had a look at him against who were they playing? I've gone blank, but the game just gone on the weekend when I was up in an Airbnb. Anyway, McInerney looked good. I couldn't even tell what position he had because he just wanted the ball all the time. And then he bangs away out of 122, and I thought, wow, this is actually a pick at 466k. Why not send it for these weird picks? Because these are the picks that might actually win you Supercoach. Anyway, honestly, Scott, even this is a perfect example. I'd actually go Turner. I don't hate it at all. I mean, not all of these disgusting picks will pick off, but the recency bias for the form is there. What I'm here to say tonight on a Friday night is send those disgusting picks because they could win you a freaking league matchup or a cashy or even sneak you into the top 1%. Anyway, Jason, glad I didn't get Pedwa. The signs weren't fantastic, I thought. So this is a good one too. If you believe the signs you're looking into a player doesn't pay off, then don't go with the crowd just because, 15% of people are trading him in or some shit like that too. If he doesn't suit your side, then you don't pick him too. That's the other thing. So, Josh, to be fair, Neil, he was almost tagged by Soligo at every stoppage for the last quarter. You got to do something if you're Adelaide to combat that midfield too, honestly. Wizard McCluggage was 0 at quarter time, was hoping for a discount. That's actually pretty crazy. So I haven't really been watching too much of the points, even at quarter times and shit. So to find out that he's scored 90-something points in 3 quarters is crazy. Rankin almost tons till he gets to a recall. Yeah, I know. I saw that too. I try not to watch the scores or else I'll probably just punch drywall for a living. So I'll be doing one of these. This is how I feel at the moment. I generally feel like this. It's just, oh my God. Anyway, the other thing that frustrates the hell out of me is first quarter, second quarter. I try to stay off Twitter as much as possible in first and second quarter because people go early and go, oh my God, Old mate's on 10, old mate's on 12, old mate's on 15, it's half time. Just let the game fucking play out. Stop posting shit early, crowing it, and calling a player an absolute fraud, and then he comes back and scores you 80 points in the second half. I'm fucking over it. The amount of times I see bullshit, it generally makes you want to delete Twitter because you sit there and you go, shut up, just who cares? And people expecting an 80 from a rookie is wild. Every single week you see someone go, oh, man, I wish such and such rookie that you paid 120 grand for. Man, he didn't get past 75. What a fraud. Like the NPC type mindset with these freaking statuses on Twitter drives me insane. Anyway, I'm actually super frustrated with it at the moment. Anyway, maybe I should have jumped on tonight. I promise I'm not shitty. I'm just annoyed a little bit, you know. I feel like you guys feel the same pain. You all get some stupid post, and it's always the same people going, "Oh my god!" It's like, mate, it's at the end of the week, your scores will mirror out. You're still in the top 1K. Who gives a shit? You brought these players in. You knew they'd consistently score you 100s. If they score 71 week and 130 next week, guess what? End of season, you still average 100. You know what I mean? Not every player is going to have. Well, I don't think there is one player that's had a 100 every single week. Like they're all going to have down games. So to go early at quarter time saying this guy's a fraud and he's on the 0 or some shit like that really does my head in. So if you're one of those people, stop doing that shit. Pedal was frustrating. Agreed. Keays has 15 buy. Oh, I'm so shit with remembering buys, honestly. From my side, I'm probably just going to send it for Keays next week if my structure looks right. To be honest, I love the Keays pick. His break even is going to be so low. I don't even care if I've got to pay 380 for him. Like, I don't care if he's got to buy the week after. I'll bring him in round 14. Like, if you like a player, just send it. And if I like him by this time next week, I'm fully sending it. Corey Dawson has a 50-point quarter, was on 55 at 3/4 time. This is the other thing about Dawson owners. Like, I feel for these guys. These guys are the ones we're talking about. Not all of them, but they'll be always in their mind at 3/4 time going, oh, Dawson's a fraud. And then he'll come back and then he'll come clutch and he scores you 100. And the world's okay again. But yeah. Anyway, rant over. Corey, Neil 50-50 at the start over Bray has been a killer. Yeah, but these are the calls too. That like the rest of your side, you might got it right. So you might have picked X, Y, and Z, and maybe Z didn't work out. But I don't know. I don't think it's a one player that kills you completely. At the end of the year, maybe that player has outscored them by 100. But maybe the money you've saved on that player has given you a player that's outscored another player by 200 points. So it swings and roundabouts for these kind of calls, and it's very hard to understand them until the end of the season. I don't think you get a full assessment and a full like example, Bailey Dale. I've always liked Dale at the start of the season. I thought, yeah, I'll start him and Richards, but I could only start one injury player because they both come off injuries. I was like, I'll pick Richards because I think when the eye test last season in the midfield, he looked really good. I think he can have a breakout season. Then I looked at Dale at the start of the season, and everyone's going, oh my God, Dale's so shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he's probably be like top 6 to 8. So when I brought him in last night, you know, at 118, his Marvel run for a guy that takes kickouts, he's not going to be in the wet. He's got a roof over his head. That sort of makes sense to me to pick him. He might have averaged whatever it is now, 105, whatever it may be. But for the run home, when you bring him in, he might actually average 115 from when you brought him in. So even though his BE was 106, I thought, let's save a 90-something K and go there. I like his ceiling. That's the thing I like about Dale. And Johannesson out was like, yeah, okay, let's definitely bring him in. But yeah, I mean, I picked Brayshaw over Sarong purely because I thought Sarong was going to keep getting tagged, and this was in like, I don't know, around 6 or around 7. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get them all right is what's frustrating. Wizard King took Bonds after Roberts news last minute, went against my gut. This is the shit that would hurt me too. This is the gut feeling that I'm this eating me tonight about Keays. Went against my gut, and now everyone else gets discount. Always back yourself. Yeah, 100%. This is probably where I'm at with this Supercoach now. Is like if I give you my opinion on a trade option that you've given me, don't necessarily think that I'm right just because my ranking. My ranking has nothing to do with how your side is actually fully structured. I could say yes to your trade options, but not know that you've got fuck all money for next week. So yeah, like you've got to. If I think something's okay, it might actually be okay on paper, but when you look at it in a 2 to 3 week process as well, it actually might really hurt you. So I think you've got to be really careful when you do send people trades. That what does it do for me next week? Do I have enough cash for an F6 next week, or does it really completely screw my side? So I just got a random one here. But that's my favorite thing is always back yourself. Like you can get advice of us people do content, and we're here for you for that. But definitely back your own gut, because yeah, unless you're having a really shit year, then definitely don't back your gut this season. But anyway, who is this? You've got a lot of Brad Belwick about you. I don't know who that is. I'm going to Google this right now. I don't know if that's a bad or a good thing. Holy, I've actually had this comment before, by the way. I might send that to my missus and say, "Is this a bad thing or a good thing?" Because yeah, he looks a little bit unhinged. So I might ask her, "Do I look like this bloke?" Interesting. Is there any other people I kind of look like? Because that's the second time I've seen that. I like random comments like that. It breaks up the Supercoach frustration in my voice. Dunks, big 120. Yeah, he's a rookie. Come back for you guys that have held Dunks, and there's no point training out Dunks, let's be honest. Like, he's going to be, again, he's going to be about 525, 30K in a couple of weeks after his buy, blah, blah, blah. So, Maxi, Tom Liberatore, sure, won't stick at halfback. I don't think he will either, man. Like, let's be realistic. Liber's a CBA guy, and that's it. If anything, you'd think they'd put Richards behind the ball again, but he's too damaging as a midfielder. But Dogs are too stacked. For the last decade, they've been stacked of midfielders. They've been so blessed of midfielders they just play them in the wing. They play them half forward. They just play them in stupid positions. Honestly, I don't know. But Bevo's got no fucking idea. Bevo seriously is just a dumb. Got to be the dumbest coach in terms of letting good players go. Like, has no clue. Retention. There's got to be something going on there. Anyway, sorry, Doggies fans. It's actually one of my favourite sides to watch is Dogs. I probably give a lot of shit to other teams I don't like watching, but from a standpoint, I love watching Giants generally. I love watching Collingwood, and that's weird for a Tiger supporter. But yeah, top three would have to be Collingwood, Giants, and Dogs to watch for me. I love the Cats. I love watching them, but there's too many headbands and blonde hair for me to consistently follow them down here. And all their supporters are soft as shit, apart from rookie coach. So yeah, Geelong used to be my second favourite team until I moved here, and then you move here and you think, oh my god, what have I done with myself? Well, send me to Perth or send me to Adelaide. I wouldn't mind living in Adelaide. Scott, name a better two-way player than Dunks. Got so nervous as Dawson owner, but to his credit, he started jumping. Yeah, this is the thing about Dawson. Sometimes he's untaggable, so he can go forward and kick a few goals, take a few marks, and he's just a beast. He's like, what, 6'4"? Similar height to myself. Jokes. Wizard King. I went against my gut and took Bond because the last minute I told myself I'll wait and see. It was gone. Still shouldn't have panicked. Yeah, I think that's what I'm come to terms with. It's like I did a panic trade in Shannon Neal, and it wasn't worth it in the end. I'm happy to admit that. Like I am not the perfect Supercoach player, but I don't think there's anyone that is, to be honest. But oh my god, panic trading is probably the most annoying, and then not backing your gut is second to that, or vice versa. Max Pedal will not get dropped. You wouldn't hope. You wouldn't. I don't know. Who knows with Adelaide honestly anymore. Give us a like for jumping back on. I'm wrecked, but I came on for my own little therapy session on this Supercoach scoring system. Please can't stay. I'm cooked tonight. I'm sure we will chat tomorrow, brother. Have a good one, mate. You too, brother. Enjoy your sleep. Yeah. Those comments in the chat was so funny though. Jeez. Good night, mate. Jace, after Butters next week, I think I might target pods with the big ceilings, I reckon, a lot more enjoyable when you have a good game. I reckon too. I'm seriously like considering your berries and your keys is even next week. Depending, give or take. I've still got to play for my ranking here. I can't throw it all out the kitchen sink and completely screw my rank. But it just makes me think for next year. I'm probably going to start a few pods that um, people are going to think are disgusting. But I think I might just do that because I'm sick of coming into every season and having 70 or 80% of the same people's picks. Even this year, I wasn't too poddish. I had a couple pods, but yeah, I think the back end of this season is the form you want to look at for next season going into Supercoach. The rookies are the hardest to pick. Every year they are, though. To be fair, like it's so hard. I don't know too many coaches that are very good at picking rookies every single week. I'm not. I thought I was okay at it, but clearly I am not. Causer. At least Ashcroft saved his game. I'm losing a bit of cash. We'll be trading next week. Yeah, absolutely. That's good for you guys. What's Max says? What's Ben K's scoring, Brad? Yeah, it's for the price point. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a permanent F6, but he was 348k this week, so he break even 3. I was going to use him as a cash cow. He plays Hawthorn and Richmond next 2. It's more his current, like, 72, 135, 104, 72, 62. So a couple how you going games, but 72 at people's first. Yep, kind of makes sense with the stadium he's playing at. 62 against Geelong, as expected against the Cats. 94 against Adelaide's, against Giants is good signs for a player of what he does. 62 away, not great. 46 against Carlton. This is the only thing that'd scare me, and then clearly this would obviously scare you. 8, but we bought in Shai Bolton and we didn't even blink. So why are we worried about a guy that's like we bought in Bolton for 430, and I was worried about a guy at 340, so 348, whatever. So the last 4 out of 5 games were decent, and now he's shown again. So he's gone 99, 106, and a 120. I'm not saying he's going to be the saviour for everybody's F6, but man, who cares? Like, he plays Hawthorn, Richmond, Melbourne, Dogs, Gold Coast, Port Adelaide, Hawthorn, West Coast, Collingwood, North. So he just got a bad run. And it's not to say on the flip side to that, like, it's not to say that, what's the word? That he'll, go on a tear here. He might go back to his 60s and 70s, sure, but if you put in 120 in projections, he probably might be 400k. Like, I've already missed the boat at 400k. Like, I may as well just wait for Horn Francis and wait for Darcy. Yeah, he's literally 397k. So for me, I'm almost at nah. Like, it's 350 or bust for Keays, because Bolton has the midfield role. Keays does not. That's 397 is almost a cut off for me for a guy like this. If he was 360, 370, yeah. So for me, I didn't realize I never would have predicted 120 anyway. So definitely missed the boat. If he had gone 100, how much would have he been? Yeah. Anyway, I think I missed the boat. There's no point me targeting Keays at 400k. You can't make that much cash off him, I don't think. One bad score and he's done anyway. So his break even next week would be 32. Let's say hypothetically he went 100. He's not going to go 100 against Hawthorn, don't get me wrong, but he can certainly go 100 against Richmond. But hypothetically, yeah. So I've completely missed the boat, because even if he goes 120, 100, if he goes back to back 100s, he makes 60k. Yeah, I was meant to, in hindsight, get him this week, because he would have actually made me 100k by here, and then I could flip him to a Horn Francis or Darcy. So if anyone jumped on the stream the other day and actually went Keays, well done to you for actually being crazy enough to do that, because that was wild. I can't believe he actually did that. And I checked his score at halftime. He was on like 61. I thought, yep, I should have listened to my intuition. Pacey SC, Cardwell worth getting, even if you have. You know what? I'm generally thinking yes, because who gives a shit if it screws one of your buys? Like, his value, man. Like, I'm not. I know the theory is to buy players after their buy, but theoretically, if you're going to save your 100K and you think he's a decent M8, like then why not? I'm actually playing the other way. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying it's the right way, but I actually think I'm actually tempted with Stewart this week to bail out of Cripps and save myself 100K. And I don't care. Yeah, that's annoying for pedal owners. It was terrible. I thought he scored a goal. Cause the worst thing of the year, the worst trade of the year for some people has to be gone to Zorko after he was averaging 135. Some people did. That's pretty bad. I don't want to look at my trades for the season. We'll do that at some point. Jason, my comments are going nuts in here, by the way, I think. Will Ashcroft looked unreal in the first half. I was expecting a much higher score, but I'll take a 107. And he's been a great starting pick. So you bought him for 440K. I bought Finn Callahan for roughly the same price and started him. Finny Boy would have been a perfect M8 to finish my side with because I wasn't going to trade Finn. Like he had a really good 5-round average and then decides to get injured. So starting a 440K midfielder at your M8 is actually not a bad shout for next year. So and Ashcroft was a breakout candidate. Finn Callahan was. And you just got to let them ride out because eventually, like, you won't know until maybe they're buy. Like example, Matt Roberts. Like thinking about it today as well. Like he clearly could have, he could stay in your side if you wanted to get value and you wanted to push him aside. But at the end of the day, he's got a 3-round average of 83 and 5-round average of 88, or other way around. So I'm actually really torn what to do with trades now after watching tonight's game. And my thinking process has changed a little bit in terms of who cares. Maybe just pick a guy that's going to have his buy of his value now. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit all over the shop after seeing some scores and thinking, hey, what if I did this instead? Because it is Friday night and there's plenty of time to change your mind with your picks for Saturday games. Max, if Weber stays in the guts, would have went 120. Yeah, that's true. Last time he dropped 75, he went 133. It probably is that. I don't see Weber playing anywhere bar the guts next week, surely. Maybe they play Trelaw behind the ball and as a halfback flank, but I don't know what they'll do. Scott, if you got all the big dogs already in, Gordon, Sherry, Butters, Dacos, even, who 3 would you be interested in? Probably Wacky Ash. Wacky Ash. Still be interested in McCluggage. Luke Jackson, of course, regardless of Sean Darcy. Nasiah, I think he's a bit slept on. He's going to be 507 next week. There's a few, but I'd probably wouldn't mind a pod. Just depends who you haven't got, I suppose. My pod's got Weber and Hewitt. Yeah, they're very good picks, mate. Generally speaking. I think he goes to 623K. Someone confirm Max for me. CWT. Zorko had a married game. Oh shit. 3 clangers in the first. 5 touches. Oh god. Okay, so that's what hurt his score. That makes more sense to the content. Because I don't actually watch the scoring side of things anymore. I actually have no answer sometimes. So it's handy when I see stats like this. Doing homework for me. So 3 clangers in the first 5 touches. That makes sense why he only got an 80 then. So with the 0 of them effective, ruined his whole night in scoring wise. Yeah, I think you've said this similar too, and I think a lot of people in that same boat is as soon as a player gets off to a really poor start, there's no scaling for them. Like I'm pretty sure he's on like 21 at I don't know half time. You see some posts and you're like, please, I hope that's not real. I try not to look because I know Rankin was doing bad as well, and then he crawled his way back to a sub 100 once again. Thank you, Rankin, for just shitting the bed lately. I appreciate it. Jason, watching Caldwell's third quarter last week after trading him in was unreal feeling. Just got to trust you. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Clearly, I'm glad I went Caldwell this week for sure. Causa, it's 55K. Yeah, no, I can't pay. I don't think I can pay $397 for Keays now. Damn it, at 348 I should have. That would have been the move this week to actually break into the top 20. God damn it. Anyway, forever Keays. I'll always remember him. Bomb James. Thoughts on Will Ashcroft? He's out averaging Neil. Really? Okay. After tonight, but I have 6 round. Do I need to get rid of one of those? I probably wouldn't be trading out my primos. It's different trading out a Roberts or a, what do you call it? Or a guy like Romo and Flex because he's done his job in my team. But I don't think I'd get rid of Zorko, Holmes, Neil, Ashcroft, Smith. I wouldn't get rid of any of those. I think everyone's got at least one bad buy, so I think I'll just hold those guys unless I really thought they weren't going to be top of the line. So it's a hard one. Placey. What's the better trade, Roberts to Rosie or Stewart? Or Winsey up to Cardwell? Roberts isn't playing this week. Winsey is playing this week. Rosie has already had his bye, and Roberts is missing 2 weeks. So if I'm just playing it on pure point system, I'm probably going Roberts to Rosie. I think either way, it's sort of a win-win-win. I'd probably like the Roberts to Rosie first, and saying that again, Roberts could be held if you needed to, if you wanted to readjust for that. Because you could hold Roberts to Rosie and then just go Lindsay up to Cardwell, because then at least in a couple of weeks' time you'd have Roberts and Cardwell versus Rosie and Lindsay, if that makes sense. I'm not too sure, but yeah. Again, it also depends on how many trades you've got left, and second to that, how much upgrades you've still got left to do in your side. So, I'm still actually considering doing Roberts to Stewart, actually holding Roberts for 2 weeks, even though I hate the pick and I think he's a fraud and he's averaging 80 and whatever. But if I wanted to readjust and get an extra player, maybe you just play the value game and maybe you hold these guys, because now I kind of backflipped on my original decision tonight, thinking of Cripps and stuff like that. I'm in a little bit of a weird boat now. Again, overthinking Supercoach like most of us, hence why you're in the chat, 53 of you. Jason, Cherry, Ashcroft and Callahan at the start of the season were amazing value at 440k, outperforming players at 600k. Yeah, I know. And this is the thing, I started Cherry and Callahan. That actually probably makes sense why I've been doing so well, and then Callahan decides to dislocate his shoulder in the third term of the last play, so that was fantastic. Yeah, I think maybe you do pick two guys that are value in the midfield and run it from there and see how you go. And at worst case, you trade them out in the buys, I think. Yeah, send it on Twitter. I've been a little bit behind on the Twitter in terms of replying to teams the last couple of days. I've been absolutely spammed in inboxes and stuff as well, so it does get hard to get around to everybody at the moment. Can be overwhelming at times. Evening SPS. Supercoach Pro. SPC, wouldn't it be? What's SPS stand for? I don't know what SPS stands for, but I'll take it anyway. It's fine. SPC, I think. Oh, SPS. Supercoach Shrimp, I think he's talking about. For those that were on Shorty stream. Chris, smart players not to own Brisbane players because there's too many mouths to feed. I love not owning Brizzy mids. Yeah, I love that too, but at the same time, I hate owning Zorko. Sign Falcon. Did Cooper Simpson to Pedro for some cash gen? Oh no. I think I had this in the live earlier tonight, saying someone was like, "Oh, do I go Simpson to Pedro?" But then I think you're paying 7k up for Pedler. Now the cash gen could be dead again. So this is why I kind of think rookie to rookie is not worth it unless you're making 100k out of it. But again, people got dead benches, so they're going to try to reboot some cash gen, and he's got a 10-week shoulder injury, so it kind of makes sense. At the same time, it's a stiff one. Like, it would have been better if you had a 99k rookie come through this week, and at least you would have banked 50k. Yeah, Pedal gets dropped next week, you're kind of screwed. But Tim said, yeah, value always the way. Wick. Yeah, Wick isn't. I love that he's changed his photo and he's left it like that. I'll send you my Twitter. I'll send you my team on Twitter. Do so. I don't know. Too many acronyms around. Yeah, I'm not good with English. It's my second language for those that don't know. So, I wonder if anyone will believe me. So far, there's a couple players I wanted to discuss tonight. And I know you guys are probably going to think they're a little bit weird, but I want to get your general feels on these players. Oh, is that my phone going off for some reason? Anyway, man, Darcy 4 at flex would have been 6. Seriously, I kind of didn't think about it until like 5 minutes into the game. I'm like, I wonder when Oscar's back, because I remember Darcy being cheap. But the players I kind of wanted to look at, and I want to know, I know we were talking about a few of these guys last night. Oh my God, I'm sick of, I don't want to look at Ben Keays right now. Let's go 3-round average maybe. So, all right, let's just start with Turner, right? And I'm not going to say all these guys are going to go well, but the forward defender status is wild. That's what I like about that sort of pick. Whether or not he can retain those scores, like, he wouldn't be your worst, what do you call it, D7, F7 kind of swing player. Only, 2 tons out of the last 5 games, but we know St Kilda weak points to defenders, whatever. The one I was actually thinking about at the moment, I don't like his job security, because remember he had the bye last week, and then he's still got Sweet and Soldo waiting in the ranks to be played. But did a double team, any Port Adelaide supporters reckon that next week, even if he does well this week against Madden, did I give him Gorn next week solo? Because for 292k at flex, I wouldn't mind getting rid of Romo this week for him and holding Roberts just to get Romo out of flex. Yeah, I know this was against Jackson. I don't know really what to expect against Madden. Surely, let's just have a play of it. But the fact that he has Gorn and Grundy the week after and TDK means he's probably dropped in a couple of weeks. But even at 100, you don't get 31k up. So that's been an interesting one. I don't mind a little bit of mid-price madness in the flex. It'd kind of stuff you though, because if you get dropped the week after, like let's say next week, or they bring in Sweet or someone, could really hurt you. What was the other ones? There was a few. I just can't remember who we were talking about the other night either. I can't believe Duncan's still playing football, and I can't believe Berry backed up another 99 score. That's wild to me. Riccardi was one that you guys mentioned the other night. I wonder how much split ruck time he'll get now. Again, this is similar price to Keays, so this is where it could get interesting. And he's got better matchups the next two anyway. He's got Vizzatini. I don't know how much ruck time he'll get with Madden, and then he's got Ford if McInerney's not back, and then let's play the projections here. So let's just call. Well, he might not get 100 against Brisbane because they might shark some taps, but hypothetically, at 350, what can he do? 410. Damn it. If he had have had a better score, it doesn't really matter. Don't know. I wouldn't touch Tim Kelly. This is one I thought about a little while ago. I know he's not playing this week, but what a fall from Wapinski. Why is he falling the face of the earth? Someone mentioned to me the other day, and I just thought that's funny. I already looked at him because obviously he had a bit. It must be a concussion come off and get subbed out or something like that from that. But for 307k, he is so cheap. Like, let's say he comes back, St Kilda game. St Kilda West Coast Carlton. Would Lipinski be a bit of a play for 307k? Just to, what's the worst case he does from here on out? Again, these are weird picks, but you've got some of these players. They're back in the season. They just turn it around. Lipinski is definitely one that I can see doing. Flanders not a bad shout too. It's just I think I think I'd probably go there if he's 50k cheaper. I just feel like there's some lingering issue here though, because there's some 40s in there. That's awful. The good thing is a defensive midfielder. Anyway, there's some weird picks. I'm actually like, oh, what happens if Visitini could actually go there? I don't know. There's got to be some players that you've got to have a crack at. I don't know. Brayshaw, sorry, Jason says had Brayshaw but swapped into Neil after Brisbane's round 3. Got cancelled. Brayshaw definitely well. Would be nice. Yeah, I didn't go Neil because of the tagging for me. I did Huswaite to Pedwa. Otherwise, no cash in incoming. That's stiff. Scott, send you my team on X, but couldn't DM. Ah, sorry. Okay, give me a sec. It's because I, not that I don't follow back, but okay, all right, I'll come back to that. I'll follow you back. You can DM me now, I think, mate. I've seen your team now, and just yeah, I'll have a look. I'll make sure I get to that notification. If not, I'll go through the inbox. But yeah, apologies. I've been bad with getting back to some of them lately, just because the bigger the channel it gets, the more requests you get with stuff like that. So it's very hard sometimes. Yeah, but yeah. Sometimes you can't DM someone if they're not following you back, and I actually don't know who to follow back sometimes. Sometimes people are unrecognisable. I know. This is I know. I should have went there with Keays. I know people were tagging me in Twitter today saying Keays season, let's go, because I was talking about it the night before. But yeah, I should have done it just in hindsight. He was playing his old mob. That's the other reason why I wanted to go there. I was like, you know what, he's going to be so fired up playing against them. Chris, out of Clay Hall and Husway, who do you think is most likely to get the call up? I actually don't know. Probably neither, honestly. I don't know. Maybe CWT can answer the Clay Hall one. I'm not a Hawthorn supporter to answer the Huswaite one, so I've no clue. I want to say Huswaite just due to Warps getting subbed off, but I don't know what Warps' issue was, so I don't actually know. Someone said Hall. I have no idea. CWT, surely they play both Sweet and Vincent against Gorn. No, that's what I thought about as well. That's why I was like, oh, he probably couldn't get it there. So he'd have one good score, then he'd be double teamed, and Sweet probably gets the gig because Vincentini probably goes absolute shits the bed against Gorn. So yeah. What we got here? Hawks got too many, and they're doing well. I still think Meek's a bit of a shout too. Tim C. Want to be around 620-ish with a break even of 160 to 170 sounds about right. I think it does. Can anyone with the projected confirm that? I think it is 623, Tim. I'm pretty sure I saw Scope's post last night. This will be 623k with that sort of break even. Could probably do it for you, to be honest, but I will just show you because I suppose at the end of the day that is my job. Well, not that I do this for a living, by the way. If I did this for a living, this would be sick. I think for me to do this for a living, I'd have to have like 10,000 people following me. Let's try the bond. Here we go for you, mate. This is for you. 628K next week. So he's knocked off 15 grand off his price tag, but his break even next week would be 159, which is probably achievable against St Kilda unless he gets a lot of attention. If McInerney was out for this long, Fort could be play. It could have been on the bubble. Yeah, Fort's still a shout, to be honest. Whip was a rookie last year, wasn't he? Nah, I'm pretty sure he's been playing for a while. Definitely a while. He was at the Doggies. Scott, I'm also really said. What is this? This is hopefully for yeah. It's the positioning for Flanders, isn't it? That's thrown to pick out the window at the moment. He's playing like a forward role, I'm pretty sure. CWT says Lipinski's been around for a while, former Bulldogs player. Yeah, I feel like he's at least 24, almost, maybe. I don't know. Hunter, might have to start Will Day next year. I don't think I'll touch Will Day. He's so injury prone, in my opinion. Oh, you're an asshole, Jason. Oh, God. If everyone just changes their picks to Ben Keays this weekend, that will be the death of me. Oh, man. Such good hair, too. I should have picked him based on his hairstyle. I feel like Ben Keays. Fritsch is what Ben Keays. No. Let me get my words straight here. Bailey Fritsch. Ben Keays. I can't put my sentence together here. Bailey Fritsch wants to be Ben Keays. That's where I was trying to go with this whole entire story. I hate Bailey Fritsch's haircut. He actually really pisses me off. He looks like the kind of guy that comes into a bar and says, "Do you know who I am?" Like just to some random chick that he doesn't know. I can imagine him doing that. He'd come across as the most arrogant person. This is no, he might be the nicest guy ever, but I'm just saying. Or like, everyone judges you for looks, I suppose. But I just feel like he'd be that guy. And Ginnivan, here's Ginnivan's post on whatever social media it was the other day. He's like, I just, want to be a boy, blah, blah. Yeah, but you're just going to cop stick from fans. Like, it's just what it is in this industry. You're getting paid so much money. Why do you care what people think of you? If I'm getting paid $500K a year, I do not give a shit who thinks what about me, honestly. The issue is the age and the maturity, so they're probably not really ready for that sort of attention too, so I kind of get it. Anyway. Yeah, I love the picture of Ben Keays. He's forever haunted in my Supercoach brain. Knack, have Ford on the bench, but can't sub him in. I reckon you got to find a way. Maybe play CSC. One of the 350 guys might be a solid flex. I reckon too, and this is what I'm saying. Like, even Olimpinski could be that guy. I could be horribly wrong with these mid prices, by the way, but there's got to be one that you're like, you know what, I should have went for them. Cucumber, Tim C. Bont 628K. BE 160 sounds about right. Yeah, mine's working at the moment. Now got Dale over Bont. I actually did the same, and Pat Cripps though, which is good. Yeah, I brought in Cripps so far, but again, I might do a backflip on my trades. Placey, because with the lack of cash in, it's going to be hard to get a premium flex. Yeah, actually, this is probably one of the best points I've been suggested all night. I think you're bang on here. From what I've seen, if I trade out Roberts or a Romo or don't go value, I won't have a good flex. So I was giving Roberts some shit today on Twitter saying how bad he is because he's averaging 83 and 88 or whatever the last 3 to 5 rounds. But I actually might have to keep him if I want to get a decent flex. I'm just in a weird position. Do I go 22 absolute guns and a mediocre flex, or do I grab 23 freaking primos? And if one of my primos does well, the other primo and flex knocks out the poor primo in a Zorko score. So I'm in a position where I'm like, damn, do I actually hold some of these guys now? Because I didn't hold McRae and I didn't hold Finn. So anyway, yeah, I totally agree. I think this is going to be the biggest issue with flex. And I've never dealt with flex this year either, so we'll know how to use it better next year. I think this is the second time you've told me this. Coleman, thank you. Bradley, I love you. Well, no, this says love you. I thought it said I love you, but I read the exclamation mark. Yeah, thank you. You too. Um, sometimes, sometimes I'm glad I don't live in Melbourne. Tim, I probably wouldn't have had the balls for any of those guys, but thinking outside the box is how you stay ahead of the pack. It is, and it's also how you screw your week as well with like a player like Shannon in the last minute. Oh my god, my thought process too in the last minute panic buy was wild. If you watch my team review, I've explained the Shannon Neal pick there. Tim, cheers, cucumber. Cause got conned into doing a live stream the other day into Keays. He hates Keays as a player. We made him get 50 likes on a stream, and he had to bring in Keays and VC'd him as well. I wish you guys had done that to me. Maybe I should do that. If I get 100 likes for a stream, I'll bring in a disgusting 350 player next week. Something like that. I don't know. Let me think of a player that if a certain video gets a certain amount of likes or some shit, I'll go send it for a certain player as well. Not to throw my rank on the line, but I wouldn't mind doing something like that. It'd actually make me do something wild that actually might pay off. CWT, if Clay Hall hasn't got a call up yet, just he won't unless Kelly or Graham go down. Yeah, I'm actually surprised Graham's still playing at the moment. He's normally held together with tape, so interesting. Zero. Would you ever think about getting Callahan in when he's okay? I actually don't know. See, I've dislocated my shoulder 3 times now. Yeah, so and I popped mine out in footy in pre-season 2 years ago now in December. So it comes out pretty easily. I don't know how many times Finney Boy's done it, but he's an inside mid / outside mid. So I don't know if I could risk it with a dislocated shoulder. There's a high chance he does it again this season. I think there'll be other 550k better options anyway than Finney Boy, but he might be one for next season once he's taped together a little bit better. I just really regressing. I don't know. I don't really love picking a player that's had a shoulder dislocation middle of the season. Wilkie's an interesting one. Wilkie's not for me just because of the way he plays. I prefer sort of running halfback over a interceptor, I suppose. I don't know. Probably not for me. I know what he can do. I need to find a shorter name for you. What can I call you? Because there's too many letters in for me jumbled up. It's like the one name that gets me stumped every time. But anyway, I'm just going to call you Terminator. Terminator says, Corey, what about Meek? Just did well against English. I still think Meek's a good shout, even though he's got the hardest fixture for Ruckman. Jim said, thanks, Brad, for the kissy face. Jack Martin is a watch. I think he'll get injured in about 3 matches for Jack Martin, unfortunately. The Joker's back in the house. Hi, just jumped on. Sorry if someone had already asked. You think Callum Mills is a good last spot on the field? I think he's good at flex. I'm not sure if I'd have him at D6. If so, I'm thinking that for a full primo team, in brackets, not including flex and 9 trades. That's actually not the worst idea, actually. In that position, you probably have a lot more trades than most for that. But I don't know if I'd want Mills at D6. I'd probably want Mills at flex or even D7 at that point. It'd be nice if Mills had DPP, I guess, as well. But I'd wait till after the bye. Here we go. Finally, Crick says Jared Berry has Fridge vibes. Does he really? Probably a little bit less love for himself, though. I think Fridge looks in the mirror every morning and goes, wow, look at me. Knack, don't you? What's one player that you just look at and just really pisses you off? Like, what is one player that every time he gets the ball, you just go, oh my God, I'd just love to be on the field with you right now? It's not toxic, but just one player. Because I've got a few players that you just go, oh my God, get out of my way. I wouldn't be able to catch any of them, clearly, but anyway. It's got to be Ginnivan for me. Ginnivan does my head in. I can't stand watching Ginnivan. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but man, he's annoying as shit. I'm not a Collingwood supporter, mind you, either. No, the only way to get forward in is if I had a dead ruck. Yeah, forward on your bench is rough as, honestly. A fake Premier Flex. I think that's the way most people are going to go. Tim C. I think a lot of us in the same boat. We've gone for 22 gun or value for 23. I'm so confused on it. Here we go, Jason. As a Cats fan, I would love Cameron at Flex. How would give him 50 or 150? What are your thoughts, Jason, on Tom Stewart? Like, you can write me an article for this one. What is your actual thoughts on on Tom Stewart? I don't care if he gets rested. I know what he can produce. Terminator says, Corey, you mentioned it in your stream, I think. You thought about doing it, but decided against it. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he definitely did. I remember that too. Yeah, I think of like these weird trades when I do 3 trades. I normally think of weird players. When I do a group of 3, when I do a group of 2, I don't. Scott, the player going to be Prestia? Definitely not. Definitely, Prestia is one shower suit from popping a hammy. Corey, well, what could happen to Sicily last year? He struggled with this scope shoulder last year. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Oh, that will do. That's a good nickname. If I struggle with your name, just give me a shortened version because I am so dyslexic. I'm probably going to be the worst content creator to read names on the screen. Period. Any, let's go any. I don't know why I didn't shorten that in the first place, but that works for me instead of calling you Terminator. Cause watching Martins be sub for sure. I think so too. CWT also doesn't like Ginnivan. Nick Watson's one as well. Oh my god, he's actually so annoying. CWT actually McAndrew. I remember I said, what did I say the other week? I said something. I said, when Jack was on the stream, he's a Brisbane supporter just for content, so I don't get in trouble. Saying how Brisbane players annoyed me just during the finals when Richmond were playing Brissy in the finals, especially up in the Gabba. And I said Cameron and what's his name? Cameron and Rayner were the ones that gave me the shits the most. Anyway, I had some funny comments in the group chat saying, of course, you said that. I was like, what do you mean by that? I just generally, they're just annoying players. When they get on a roll, they just get in the opposition's face and you just want to deck them in the nicest way possible, by the way. Like, footy's so fun. That's why I wanted to play again a couple of years ago, just for that, I don't know, you get it to release some tension from work through the week. That's why I enjoy boxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that, is you get to release a bit of built up frustration from traffic or whatever the hell's going on. I don't know if it's bad that I have like 10 primo defenders. I think I'll be in a similar boat if I do the trades I'm thinking about next week. God, I was trying, by the way. Yeah, probably went over my head because I'm bloody tired as. I actually probably thought you were serious though when you said about Prestia because he scored a 132, so nothing would surprise me when I hear Prestia calls, to be fair. And he says the thing about Prestia is he won't pop a hammy until you trade him in. Yeah, agree, 100%. Richmond's a very hard team to guess too. Like I don't even like it. I know our ins and outs, but I can't tell you positioning because Uze is very confusing even for me. But yeah, I think at least watching the Tigs, at least we're going somewhere of our side at the moment. I kind of love seeing Collingwood fans whinge about Ginnivan. Yeah, that's so true. He did exactly the same. He hasn't changed. He has not changed. I remember hearing the press conference about what's his name saying, Ginnivan read the room or whatever. That was a bit how you going, but whatever. Wicks, here we go. Stewie was my favourite player, but has burnt twice this season already. He's great value, but still doesn't look 100% at the moment and may get rested throughout the season. This is the general consensus that everyone's telling me as a Cats fan. But this is the upside, right? This is a glass half full. If Stewie is not 100%, he's still popping out 105 or 102, whatever the hell it was. Who cares if he gets rested? That's what Flex is for, right? Or that's what Mills at D7's for. I don't know, but I wonder what most of you think that Stewart averages from here on out, because that'd be interesting. Matthew, she's a worth a punt at 480k next week. I don't know. I've held him, so probably yes. I haven't even traded him, unfortunately. Matthew, CWT, Freshie goes 100 next week. This week, we're 100% going to fall for it. With the cash strat thing, yeah, I suppose you probably would, because he Wait, would he be in a bubble next week because he hasn't played all season? Like, I'd be very surprised if Brissy didn't cop another injury. The thing about Meatball is he's a good scorer. I remember watching the 2017 Grand Final, Richmond v Adelaide, and oh my god, it is his first game. And Prestia he's one of the best players to ever read where the ball is going to land. Like when it goes sky high and he's that guy at your feet on crumbing position, he is one of the best readers of the ball, crumbing wise, especially from the Tigs. He's unbelievable. The other player I love who reads the crumb really well, but also seems to be one step ahead of his teammates, is bloody Ed Richards. I don't know what you guys think. I watch Ed Richards so much. He's actually my favourite player to watch. He's overtaken the Bond for me. I know what the Bond can do forward, but I love. Next year, I'm naming my team after Ed Richards. He is such a jet. I think he's so underrated by the community. Just his breakout year is incredible. Yeah, I can't believe how good he is. He reads the play so well. But yeah, Prestia in that 2017 Grand Final, when Adelaide kicked the first 2 goals, I was actually fine with it because I thought the way our players had played, like a Prestia reading the ball and stuff, and I thought, oh my gosh, they got a little bit lucky here. I was confident. And then the Townsend tackle, oh my god, Townsend tackle was epic as well. Take me back, how the hell was that almost 10 years ago too? I think what I learned in football too is I took things for granted in the finals. Richmond being up and about, I used to go to all the games, like as many as I could, home games at least. I feel like if we ever get back at that position again, I'll make sure I soak it up when I can because you're not there for very long. Anyway, I wonder how many people will trade Prestia. I'll probably get a lot of Prestia questions next week. Jason, he looked better against West Coast and contested in more as well, so he's probably an okay pick. Yeah, interesting. Corey, watch Prestia go 100 this week and be a JF pick. Potentially, but I don't think we'll ever use Prestia as a sub. I think McIntosh is your sub candidate. Or maybe Caleb Smith, but they opted to use him because Short's not in the side. Scott says, I'm off to bed. Have a good rest of the stream, mate. You too. Thank you. Give us a like, everyone that's still in the house, for another stream. We've gone double tonight. I'd love to have Toronto on my team, but he scores like a budget Lachie Neale. Yeah, he does a little bit, doesn't he? Hunter can't stand Myers because of how he kicks the ball. I actually like his kicks, to be honest. They're low-key good as fuck. CWT, I think Stu goes 95 and probably misses a couple of games along the way. Yeah, I've got him penciled for about 100. See, even at that 430k, if you're telling me he misses 2 and he plays and he averages 95 for 430k, I think it's not a bad shout. But I think the issue with these top teams, including myself, is I'll have no cover bar flex. So if I had to wait out, I'd have no D6. So hence why I'm like, do you keep Roberts to I don't know. Roberts can go stuff himself. If Swans could actually play decent footy, he'd be averaging decent too, I think. Oh my god. These players at 440k that I started are so frustrating. You didn't say Penderbury? Penderbury is a good player. Like, you can't hate Penderbury. This is the opposite of Ginnivan. You definitely can't hate Penderbury. Corey, I have a crazy trade story. I have a crazy trade in story this week for you, Brad. In my main league, I helped my uncle to fix JF as a sub to Max Holmes, and then saw tonight he brought in Brodie Smith as. Oh no! Oh my god! He brought in Brodie Smith. Yeah, well that wouldn't help him at all. Okay, I've got a few DMs I got to reply to tonight. Supercoach teams. I'll try my best. Sometimes I actually forget. I'll read some of them too, and I'll forget to actually reply because of bubs. So, he'll want a bottle mid read, and I close what I'm doing on the phone and I forget about him. But I'll try not to forget any of those ones, that's for sure. Corey, yeah, that is rough for your uncle overseas, Brody Smith. Zero, would you keep train? I'd have to get rid of trainer because your break even is too high. And he has 22 green dots anyway. I probably would downgrade him to Clark if you haven't already got Clark, or you just upgrade him at this point if you could trade someone else down. There's no one in the back line I really like, bar Clark. Tim, Cody Waitman shits me as well. Yeah, well, I feel that. The small forwards do, don't they? They just get on your nerves. Hawksy, g'day, Brad. Who's a good downgrade option for Neil? His footy is almost as bad as his tats right now. Pretty sure Neil has bird tattoos on him, doesn't he? Like, he actually looks like a frog, but anyway. I'm talking about Neil, by the way. Pendlebury for reading the play like Prestia. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. See, I'm so far behind in comments sometimes that I forgot what you're talking about. So Prestia for Pendlebury for reading the ball like Prestia. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if I missed any others. No, I don't think I did. But yeah, definitely Pendlebury. Rowan, I held Ashcroft and traded out Roberts. Probably trade Ashcroft out next week. I think Butters is a shout the next week or two. We'll find out, I guess, when he plays what his break even will be the following week. Look, if you've already got Bonds, I'd probably Butters in that case. Yeah, I'd probably get Butters instead, because if you've already got Bunt, what does it matter? Bont. I keep calling him Bunt. Corey, that's my uncle, is 80k overall. Trades in weird players, that's why I smash him all the time. Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's the same reason I always beat my dad at Supercoach. Hawksy, well, Bird shit looks better than Neil's scoring. Probably does. I remember I got bird shit on me once in my 30-something years. I was in year 3. This girl told me it was good luck. I didn't eat it or anything to make sure I was really lucky, but yeah, I remember I was just near a playground and all of a sudden this bird just white poo everywhere. And then recently, I don't know how recently, but maybe 6 months ago, me and the misso were going for a walk, and this crow was flying above us and perched itself on a what do you call it? On those electric wire things. I've gone blank. A power pole. Oh my god, it is too late for Brad here. And yeah, all of a sudden, just white. Crow shit is huge, by the way. Like, just white everywhere. Just painted her. So funny. In her hair, earring. I couldn't stop pissing myself. And no word of a lie. Then the week later, I actually got a tattoo crowed. I got a crow tattoo on me. And she doesn't know this whole entire time, but it was purely just to piss her off. So anytime I see a crow, I remember that it actually literally shat on her, and I've actually got a crow tattooed on my leg. And it is like a crow from a game, but it's also in reference to the time she got bird shit on her. So shout out to her if she's reading the comments now, and she wonders why I got a crow tattooed in my leg sleeve. Yeah, that's for her. It was a good one too. The bird got it really good. It was quite funny. I wasn't even supportive. I was like, haha. And then I felt bad because, yeah, anyway. Things like that are so funny when it's not you, but when it's you, you're like, oh my god, I hate this planet. Raymond, Roberts, anyone should I target? Now I sound like really nasty, but I'm not. Roberts, anyone should I target a round 12 buy player or someone like Caldwell? I think you just go value. Is my thoughts now, honestly. Regardless of stuffing up a buy, you'd rather save 100k than worry about 1 week scoring unless you completely stuff that round. Surely you make it up for the other rounds. Also, since we're talking about Prestia and a couple cash options next week, people will consider Fife. Yeah, yuck, that would be awful. Pretty sure Fife was considered last year, wasn't he? I can't remember. Jason, another player I like is Noble. I like Noble as a pod too. Bit of a turnover merchant, but he's a good player, regardless. I should go to bed soon before. Oh my god, it's midnight. I'll be doing after dark tomorrow anyway. So many small forwards flopping around. That's what pissed me off this year. Actually, the small forwards that flop around and this high tackle BS. Like, how are you meant to tackle these days when they all do this stuff and swing their head back? It's just so annoying. The other thing that's not getting rewarded this season is tackles. There is no such thing as holding the ball anymore. I'm actually very confused about that. A player can release the ball and sort of not even handball it out and it gets cold. Just play on. I'm not understanding the umpires there. Like, the amount of times a player will tackle not to get a free kick. And this is not Supercoach, by the way. This is just general play. This doesn't make sense. So confused. The other thing is the score review system. How are we score reviewing stupid things? How are these umpires not seeing they've got one job? How do you... Man, I remember I'll be in a cheer squad of Richmond and I'll get up before 99% of the fans because I know as soon as it leaves the boot, when it's sailing through, you can almost see when it's 80% through anyway, and people will wait until it literally hits the ground behind you before they even get up because they're so unconfident of it going through. Unless it's high near the post. Like, geez, these umpires, you can see from a mile away, generally speaking. It baffles me, even the commentators. I don't know where sometimes and how they can't see the goal going in. Like, Kelly Underwood's the worst for it. The amount of times she'll not know that it's a goal or she'll call behind a goal, etc. Like, how are they so freaking stupid? Like, it baffles me. And then the arc takes so long. Like, the amount of games that you're sitting there for 2 or 3 minutes, you can literally make yourself a coffee and take a shit. Like, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, and also another factor is Tassie team's probably not going to happen anymore, is it? So it's just like, what the hell, AFL? Who's running all this stuff? I don't understand why it's so unorganised this season. But anyway, Hawksy, suddenly this Ben Keays thing is in a drag. Why is he good again? Oh, no, don't, Hawksy, don't. No one tagged me in Ben Keays stuff all week. I'll be very, very disappointed I didn't trust myself. Tim C, are you sure you didn't eat it? Didn't seem like a necessary detail. I know, I just sort of go on with these stories and then dig myself a hole, and you guys question my ability as a human being to function. So I definitely didn't eat it, but it definitely didn't taste nice. Corey, the best time I got... I didn't, for reference, when I was in year 3, in grade 3, I didn't eat the bird shit. The best time I got bird shit on me was at the footy last year, North VTs. I'll shut on my hat and puffer jacket at the MCG. Well, did you win that game? Because sure you did with that luck. The crow shit was so funny. You guys won't believe me, but maybe I'll upload a photo of the crow tattoo then, because I don't think you guys actually think I'm serious. I'm not too annoyed with Neil. 2 good weeks, 1 off. It's not like a 50. Yeah, true. Rowan, how long should I hold Sheriff? What? I'd hold Sheriff for the season. Same with Ashcroft. How long should I hold Jarrett and Ashcroft? Because I've got 9 trades left and I still need to finish a team. Yeah, no, how many upgrades do you got left? But I'd keep those guys, in my opinion. PFP, that is some nice wood there. That looks like me in the morning at about 6 a.m. Is Dale a must get in? I'm going to refer to something on my channel. I don't want to ever be quoted as a must have. I don't think anyone's a must have, to be honest. Nobody's a must have. I don't know. It's such a like. I actually hate when I hear people say must have. Not you guys in comments, but like, I can't say what I mean specifically. I might get in trouble here and stir up the wrong crowd. But yeah, I don't think there's a must have rookie. I don't think there's a must have player. I think that term is used way too often than not. It shouldn't be used in coming weeks. The Marvel run's good, but this is the same thing with Bont. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, Marvel run for Bont. He averages 140 at Marvel, but piss off. Like, I can... sometimes you just got to play it by the season. It's like sometimes the past seasons, etc., only go so far. Like blokes coming off an injury prior to round one, like you can't really take that into consideration from last year's stats, etc. Like you got to give and take a little bit of statistics. Then you've also got to factor that Edwards is in the midfield now. Riley Sanders is getting a little bit of the taste and still playing forward. Not to say that Bont won't go 130s, 140s again, but just because the Marvel run isn't something, like I actually factored the Dale pick for more of the Marvel run than Bont, because Marvel run meant for Dale, the kick-ins and with a dry ball would make it better disposal efficiency. So I think a Marvel run probably helps a halfback flanker that takes kick-ins like a Nasiah pick or a Dale, but certainly not a midfielder that plays forward. I mean, it makes sense because he's got dry ball, so he can kick it better. But Bont and Richards get burnt by stupid players like Harms and players that don't think. The player IQ between a Bont and a Harms is ridiculous. Like Dogs players, when you watch Dogs, and I've noticed it with Richards will be so far ahead of the game that he's where you should be feeding it to. So sometimes he won't go in for the ball because he's that one step out where he's actually freed himself up to actually put it inside 50. And then you get stupid players that just chuck up on their boot, bomb it into forward 50 and hope that Rory Lobb takes a mark. So it's just something stupid like that. You know what I mean? That's the thing about Marvel was, yeah, I don't think I read too much into that statistic when I saw that about Bont. I didn't really care. Statistics are great, don't get me wrong, but there's also things we can't factor behind those as well. There's so many variables. I think Bont is one player that you probably have to get before the end of the season, but you don't. It's certainly not a must-have. I've got Richards, so it kind of balances out not getting Bont, because I think Richards can match Bont in the same side. That's probably my theory anyway, but I could be wrong. I ran 5 last year as a starter. Went up a little and dropped him. Yeah, yep. Him and James Jordan. I remember James Jordan as well as a pick. Underwood isn't at the game. Thank goodness for that. It's been called from a studio. I can't stand her. But she's still blind. Yeah, mate, I can't stand her. I've seen a petition online saying to cancel her. Corey, how did they review the point tonight when it was left goalpost and it was clear? But I don't know. This is the issue. It's so annoying. What the hell? No one's ever done this before. Oh my god. I was like, this guy looks exactly like me. Like, I've got a twin out there. I was like, I can't believe there's a guy that looks like me. I was about anyway, Hunter, very good. That's actually dope. I look like I'm stoned. That's fantastic. Thoughts on Traw in a few weeks. I wouldn't touch Traw. Traw's in the Prestia boat for me. Hawaii Aqua. There you go. I've actually talked about you tonight. In a nice way, don't worry. You can go back and watch the 1 hour vid. 3 upgrades left. Man. Yeah, then I'd be keeping Sharon. I'd be keeping Buddy Ashcroft. Okay. Good on Adelaide Oval, waiting 40 minutes to get my bum off the bridge just so I can wait half an hour for a train. That's annoying. I want to move to Adelaide. I'd love to move to Adelaide. Anyone that lives in Adelaide can recommend me some spots to check out. I want to go to Adelaide soon and have a suss and get out of this cold, shitty weather down here. Jason Keays is definitely a must-have. I don't know if he is. Like, I don't know how many podcasters will talk about Keays this week as a 400k option, but I can't imagine it'll be many. Hawksy, I thought Neil got 80, went to 92. Still crap for him. Yeah, I get you. And same as Zorko. Aqua, did we actually get in Keays? No, we didn't. I should have done it. Ashcroft looked way better than 105. Aqua says, what did Keays look like for 120 score? What did he actually look like? And what did Berry look like to you? Because Berry, you were right the other night about him going nuts. It was a good trade. Hawksy, you hear what they're saying in Supercoach spheres. Ben Keays is a must-have. We all need him. Yeah, I've never seen this one before. Radsy, or maybe I have. So when his butter hits 540, I think I was saying about Butters. I think if Butters gets to 540, I'll be jumping on regardless. Like he's a guy that we know that you can finish your side off pretty safely with. Him and Bonds are close to those guys that you probably don't want to go without for the rest of the season, but I'm not going to call them a must-have. I'm just going to say that they're guys that you at least would want one out of two. I'll just word that carefully. Don't forget the Bevo factor, also true, any. Aqua, Zorko might be my 23rd. Round 17 at this rate, he's going to be like 500k by then. It probably is actually really frustrating. Tim C, tackles not being rewarded and players just running over the boundary line with the ball not being called deliberate pissed me off. Yeah, that actually really pissed me off too, actually. That's the second factor to that as well. Like, how is that not being called deliberate? It makes no sense. The footy world's changed completely. Aqua, body Zach Bailey, man, he needs some VFL time. Yeah, that was awful. What he was doing, it was weird, wasn't it? It was unlike him. Aqua must have bombed 3 out on the fools. Yeah, I did hear the commentators say something similar to that. Sligo and Dunkley got 125 and 120 from a draft team. Very well done. Score review for that behind. This is exactly what we were talking about before. Never hurts to check. Yeah, right. 72. Here we go. Fife might actually be a good flex option. 370k. Jeez, 23 last week in a quarter, so his price should be div dramatically primed for 4 or 5 rounds. I got a question to that actually. CWT, I know you were talking. I can't remember if it was with Rookie Coach and Damo. Did you end up going for Kyle Oman this week? Because I know a few people were keen on Kyle Oman. I'm not sure if Steve actually got Kyle Oman now. But yeah, we'd love to know who in the chat actually got Oman. Because he had a lot of almost moments. I watched Oman just for that sake. I remember you saying what you said about Oman. It's hard to pick these guys too, because at least job security, it's there. But yeah, I don't know who I'd want at flex. Fife is a wild shout. I don't know. You'd want to hope his body holds up as well. What do you reckon Mills scores this week, by the way, CWT, against Richmond? Keays is such a player at the times. Yeah, he's a good player. He's so good to watch. And did anyone know what happened in that game where he scored 8 against Collingwood? Like, what actually happened to Keays? Was somebody tagging him or something? Like, who was he on? Somebody surely knows. Sometimes I don't get these questions answered, and I'm like, oh, come on, guys, help me out here. There might be some merit in Butters at 540k, but merit is there now. What? I'd rather Butters over merit. Aqua, both Ashcrofts were kind of unders. Wow, okay, fair. He had a poor first half, I remember, and then he came back in the third, I think it was. Like, it's just so annoying. Steve got Wyman. Yeah, I thought Steve might have, because we were in the group chat before and he said something about Wyman. He goes, I'm just going to punt it. So, Aqua Rankin has had a kind of arse role playing more forward the last couple of weeks. I think it's due to Sam Berry, isn't it? Inconsistent player. He's 80% of the time. Yeah, because he kicked it out on the full, didn't he? Or deliberate to the out of bounds, and it was a free kick against Aqua. Wyman looked terrible live, but he did give his all. Caught about 10 times. Pedro, Jesus, what is that score? CWT didn't go Wyman in the end, okay, so he went Pedro instead. Oh my god. These rookies are going to be the death of us. Do you think he holds his spot next week though? Like, wow. At least you didn't go Simpson, because I know I went Simpson, and I think you avoided the Simpson carnage. So I'd rather have Pedal than Simpson for. Oh my god, these rookies are so. Corey, it was wet weather that week, and Collingwood were playing well and didn't get down there at all. It seemed for him to touch it to Keays. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Corey. Maybe I should ask Corey purely for these comments, because do you watch every game, Corey? Because I miss a few games of the little one at the moment, so my knowledge is as good as it can be, and I do watch a lot of the highlights, etc. Hawksy, Merritt D1 actually. Oh, if he keeps playing behind the ball. Pirate, would you rather be itchy or sticky? This is a random question. Well, I hate being itchy. I'd rather be sticky. Be more fun for the misso. I'm joking. CWT, I think Mills goes. Whoa! I think Mills goes 100. Should be near full tog this week if history is anything to go by. Wow. Well, I'll have to look at Mills' stats, what he's done before. Wow. I wonder where they play Mills from here on out too. I mean, well, Roberts is out, obviously, so they're probably going to play him down back, you'd think. I think Mills goes 100. Mills is that kind of player. I probably wasn't expecting the hunch. Interesting. I can't remember what his injuries were too, CWT. I can't remember over the last couple of years what Mills' injuries have been for me to get a gauge on where I think he's capped at. But 100 is, yeah, wow. It's probably why you went early on him too. Like, yeah, and I think he passed the eye test anyway, regardless. So it was only annoying because he got himself suspended for a week. But yeah, that's interesting. Like, I definitely have thought about going him early, but there's a lot of risk attached to doing that. We've seen what Buddy Wyman did. Not Wyman, Buddy. Oh my god, what's his name? Coleman. My apologies. Aqua. If Bruce Smith gets starting as Buddy, I think he won't get a spot unless Hinge goes down or Rory Laird goes down or something like that. They'd have to have a defender go down like that. It's probably, you reckon it's Smith's last season? I don't know when he's signed to. Aqua Hodge kick ins like no tomorrow. Hoggin kick ins like no tomorrow. Yeah, he was in the last quarter, wasn't he? Raymond Pedder should hold. Most of his stats were some solid tackles. Who's fighting for Pedder's spot, Raymond? Corey Keays had 14% disposals, 7 disposals against Collingwood. That doesn't help either. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, Keays did have one stinker, fair enough. Schreiber. This is what I was saying the other day. Or today even. Shy Bolton 2.0. I should have bought him for 350. I'm an idiot. I'm actually idiot. It's actually going to piss me off all week. So yeah, Ben Keays was one I should have just sent. Jason, after having Kako all season, I didn't want another small forward, so let's give them Pedro. Fair. Now, I can't believe there's people that have got Keays as their profile picture and myself as their profile picture. It's actually quite funny. Yeah, Ben Keays is the one that got away this week. Instead, I've got Body Shannon Neal. I still can't believe I bought in Shannon Neal. What the fuck am I doing? I should retire just on that play. Corey, depending if I'm playing tennis or not, I'll watch 6 or 7 games a week, depending on the overlap. Wow, yeah. I'm trying to manage that, but yeah, I'll sleep in the doghouse if I do that. Oh, excuse me. It's almost time for bed, everyone, I reckon. I'll tuck his in. Jason's still hoping for a Kako stealing score. Richmond might be back in the finals. Wow. Drive-bys from Jace. Thanks, mate. I actually like these questions better than the other ones, so I'm probably going to answer this one. So if you've got any weird ones like this, Tim, or anybody, send them through. I actually like random, stupid questions. They're probably more my favourite than Supercoach relevant, to be honest. Sometimes. Okay, so Underwood, Beck Madden. I'd have to Google who Beck Madden is. Fraser Garrick. Well, I hope the misso ain't watching this, so this is actually hard. Let me Google this. I don't know if I'm going to get cancelled for this, by the way, because I'm actually monetized now. So, oh Jesus, really? This is a hard one. Well, I'm going to answer this because this is. Oh, jeez. Either way, this is a lose for my channel. You have to. Underwood's going to have to go off a pier, clearly. This is weird. I'm going to have to marry Fraser, and then I'm going to have to, you know what, Beck. That's just a random wild thing to consider all three of those things, but that's the hardest position to be in. I think I'd probably rather eat crowns and take a long walk off a short pier. None of them were good options. I had to Google the middle one. I thought we're coming in clutch here, but even that wasn't fun. I think what took me off this whole entire question was the third one stumped me. I didn't know what to do there because I don't swing that way. So he was tracking well 2 weeks ago, and then he killed his tog right off in the last half of the game. Ended on 67, but was on like 30 in the first 15 minutes of quarter one. Wow. Okay. Right. Okay. I missed that. Murray Will Ashcroft. Yeah, that's funny. I think Merritt will play behind the ball until Redmond doesn't need to play on a tall forward with Martin moving into the midfield and Parrish back. I see Merritt becoming halfback for a few weeks. Good point. Pedro v Draper for that extra spot. Oh, right. City Draper versus Pedro. Yeah, interesting. Jeez, I wonder if they bring Draper back in then next week because, oops. One incurs, but he's poo. Hawksy downgrade Neil to Mills. Oh, yeah. Guess who's got the bye next week, fellas? Mills does. Raymond, yeah, just got Pedal against Draper. Interesting. Hawksy Bolton is honestly a forward keeper at this stage. I think so too now. Simply because there are no other forwards and pressing well, plus gets mid-minutes. I totally agree. I concur. CWT last year was hamstring issues for Mills. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. And this year is plantar fascia. Does this plantar fascia come back, or did he actually like snap his off? So it doesn't matter because I didn't do my research for this Mills pick. I think he's laughing at the Marion Kill one. That took me so long to decide what I was going to do there. So, Corey, if you had to choose one player to jump on your channel or do a live stream, who would it be to pick? That's a good question too, actually. Who would I pick? I'd have to be the Bont. My team's name is Bont Identity. Yeah, definitely the Bont. Second to that, Ed Richards. If you asked me Richmond player to jump on here, it'd probably be Prestia. I didn't even hesitate. I'd love to have. I don't think I'll ever get to that position where I'm ever doing that, but it'd be nice. Jason, Mary Kill. All right, Shannon. Oh, no, you got to give me the opposite gender here. I can't be doing these ones. These is. I'll get questions from the missus and she'll be doing one of these ones. She'll be doing a Michael Scott. I'll answer that one in my head. I can't answer that. I just put it this way: McIntosh would be swimming with the fishes at least. The other two I can't decide. Right, if Pedal versus Draper for the sub vest, yeah, right, 100%. Draper will get the sub vest if someone has dropped. Yeah, okay, interesting. Luke Jackson's too expensive for a forward spot. If you got the cash, you'd do it. Tim C, yeah, I knew Underwood was gone, even with the G train in the mix. That's wild, you guys. Yes, yeah, that's how much I absolutely cannot stand. Imagine if I were Mary or the other one, you would have been like, "What the hell?" I can't take you seriously, Hunter. I've never had anyone do this to my face before. I seriously look like I'm stoned. We get desperate for Josh Smiley action. Probably Taj Houghton. I think Smiley's got a lot of hammy issues actually. Aqua. Flipping Horn Francis in the sense I'm selling him. That's so confusing. I don't know if I'd do that, Aqua. I mean, he's got CBAs with Darcy rucking. Yeah, he does. He actually does. Yeah, and it's actually crazy. He's actually worth a shout though. Like he's still good pick at the end of the day. Jeez. Well, Gray has to go off the pier. Well, this is weird as well. You stitched up here. Like you can't win if you marry a trainer. Bolter's probably going to kill you, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I swear if any of these questions make my channel banned, I'm not allowed to do a video for a week just because of these questions, but that's fine. I'll still try to answer them without getting in trouble. Oxy Jackson gets mid-ruck. Yeah, it's actually wild that he does. Jason, Bailey Smith would be a good player to have on. Has some cheeky nose. Oh, wow. Yeah, he actually would be, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a very hard stream to concentrate. He'll definitely get my channel cancelled for sure. Corey, last week Jackson had like 92% CBA, something like that. It's crazy. Shy has easy run until the buys. Oh, easy corner. Fair. I'm keeping Belton. Placey, what do you think of Gorn to DCAM or TDK for extra cash? I'd probably rather TDK with the cash sort of side of things. CWT, did you end up get rid of Gorny this week for a ruck TDK or something like that? I think a lot of people suggested getting rid of Gorn for the money, which makes sense. Get Guinea on the shot. Or Jamara. May as well get Tanner, if you know what I mean. Jeez, I wouldn't get any of these guys on here. Especially on Jamara. Jamara drinks his own bath water for sure. Tip the Lions, or good third quarter time. Dawson Monster fourth quarter. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I can't believe Down Press has been sitting on my screen for the last half an hour. That's wild. What time are we? All right, we're 12:20. All right, we'll go for 5 more minutes, I reckon. We'll go to 12:30 and then call it a night, I reckon. And yeah, trade plans, I actually don't know now. This is what I was going with, but I'm actually not sure because of the whole. Like, I was going to go Clark, but what happens if Clark becomes a dead rookie? So the only one that's been locked out so far is actually Dale. I think Trainer still has to go to my side. I didn't look where Marek is on the side, but his break even is 155, and I don't view him as a keeper anymore. So, this could be LDU as well. Like, I really like LDU option here. I just think these three. I haven't decided if Roberts goes this week or if Marshall goes this week, because Marshall at flex Marshall was just meant to be a cash play, but now he's got a 183 break even, so it makes it tricky because he's got his bye this week. So he's got English, which you'll actually probably win hitouts against for once. I mean, it's going to take him quite some time as well to actually get his price back up too if he doesn't do well. This is the highest he's got to be unless he does like a 150 or something. So I haven't decided if Marshall goes or if I get rid of Roberts next week or this week. Or I generally don't know what to do with my team this week. It's a tricky one. Like the side looks actually okay on paper. Average against opponent doesn't help me with Marshall. But I'm pretty sure that's a hard ruck run. Like he's got English, Darcy Cameron, Jackson, Meek, Grundy, whoever, Gorn, Sherry, Nank, whoever, being Briggs or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't love his run, but the issue is he's got Marvel, He's got a lot of Marvel games, so I don't really mind it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One at the G, one at Optus, one at GMHBA, and one at NG. So I'm not sure what to do here, but I always supported Dale this week. Dale was a good shout. Again, I don't have cash as well, like most sides, to do much. Have I seriously got that many comments to go? Jeez, they came in out of nowhere. I'm doing fasting at the moment, mate, so I'm actually eating between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. now, and that's it. By the way, how does the mic sound out of 10? Like, there's one I actually got from Sheen. And how does the cam look like out of 10? Do I look like every other content creator now? I don't look like I'm filming in 480p? Because I feel like it's nice little upgrade now. It sounds hopefully better on your end. And I don't know if you guys can hear clicking sounds anymore, because my previous video, someone said in the comments they could hear a clicking sound, so fingers crossed there's none of that tonight. Just going to rookie correct. All right, we're going to get out of here in 6 minutes. AC went for a cheeky Macca's run. Very nice. I love that. So CWT, so I haven't been on Twitter much tonight. So his plans are, I've got Gawn, Marek, and Cleary out. So Gawn for the cash, Marek because of the roll, Cleary out because of the break even. So I saw him say about Bont. I didn't know about the Pedal part because I saw him say something about the Loman thing. Bont, LDU, Pedal. But considering reversing it for a week and just rolling Marek and Cleary to Bont and Pedal. Yeah. I guess if you hold Gawn this week, then you're probably holding him until the rest of the season, you'd say. See, I don't know. Like, I know the position you're in as well. A similar boat, somewhat, but you don't have Roma at flex. I actually don't know what I'd do in this situation. I think LDU is a good pick too, because I was looking at him and Cripper. Even Walshy, but Walshy's a fourth banana apparently. So if you think you can get Gawn back in, you'd probably go Gawn to LDU. But if you don't think you can get Gawn in, then I think his run coming up's not as easy as his first half anyway, CWT. So, Bella, what do you think scores? Sorry, who do you think scores better long term? This is a hard one too. I actually don't know. I think TDK just. I just don't know. Marek down on the bench. He's got to go, doesn't he? So he could play ruck for all I care. He's dead. Agreed. Oops, someone still added a comment. Watch Marek or Bowen be sub. Oh god, that'd be annoying. Jason, you reckon the lack of decent second ruck at Melbourne is going negative effect Gawn as the season goes on? Potentially. Yeah, that's a huge call. Roberts doesn't lose cash. Trainer does, most likely. Yeah, very true. Just noticed the glowing mic. That's the mic. The camera I can't show you, but yeah, it's actually helped a lot. I've actually now got to pay for StreamYard as well, hence why I've been having to do more videos. I can actually afford to do StreamYard. So yeah, the more likes and all the rest of it the video gets, the more I can upgrade to StreamYard and do live streams. I don't know how much it is a year. It's ridiculous. I think it's $200 or $300 a year. So I've got to, yeah. Anyway, it's actually hard. Like, you try to make it money wise just for the channel to get better things for then reinvesting in your own channel. Really, like it's not actually going to much else other than back into Supercoach and baby formula every now and then. Which, oh my god, the lack of sleep. Oh my gosh, I am exhausted. CWT, how many trades do you have banked? Aqua, sure, we're gonna have to wait to get to it. Yeah, Gordon's next 5 or 6 after the buy isn't that great anyway. Hawksy, can you just wait for Gordon's Why? Or his B is 180, so that's why I was thinking about it. The current plan carrying 250k to next week. Okay. This is a strategy. Current plan 250k next week to do one trade. It wins you up to Butters. With me with 8 trades and one rookie. And Flynn upgrade down the line. So you'll probably come out of that with 4 trades after fully upgraded. Sell Flynn this week, surely. Brissy, really love the look of Rosie in defence. Love Roberts, but might make it slightly harder to finish the rest of the team. Yeah. Yeah, I've got some considering to do now for my side. I still don't know what I'm going to do. It's hard. Like I'm actually playing the game to game now, deciding what my overall side's going to do. Like Zorko sort of changes my narrative. Do I not get Clark now? Do I actually grab 2 half primos because of Zorko's done an 80? I don't know. I don't know if anyone plays the same sort of way. Anyway, CWT says, no, holding Flynn for now. He's my ticket to Gone. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. And he went 98 on Cherry and pieces. I'm pretty sure Flynn's so Iraq now anyway. Aqua, my trades this week, preparing for 4 weeks' time. Thinking way too far out. I don't think you are at this point. I think you've got limited trades, so you probably know what you're going to do. Placey, I got 221k and 11 trades and 3 upgrades. Do you think I should get the team done? No worries. Yeah, I think you have 4 or 5 trades left. You should be fine. The inboxes I'll have to reply to tomorrow morning because I've got to go to bed shortly and I'll be waking up doing nappies and bottles all night. So, Jason Gorn's last matchup before his bye is Port. Last 2 games against Port, he's gone 177. Ben, do I get Cardwell or TDK this week? If I get TDK, then I can't upgrade next week. I'd get Cardwell then. I think that's the easier option. Cardwell, whatever you want to say. I think it's been my last comment, so give us a like. We've almost gone 2 hours and it's 12:30, so I'm calling it a night. So last one's going to be Aqua. I'll try to do Shano's and then get out of here as well. Plan is to hold Roberts at D6, get Butters next week, then Bont on Francis in round 17. Any defender off the bye. My rookies should be enough. Yeah, you sound like you got it planned out, so you should be fine. No worries at all. Shano, is Parrish being a worry in... No, I don't think so. I think Parrish will probably pull a calf sneezing out of bed tomorrow morning. So I don't think I've got any worry with Parrish, simply because the guy's never on the park and spends more time at home in bed. Hawksy, 9 trades will get me 3 promos, 1 in flex, 2 forwards, not 1 on air. Okay, but next week I can probably get 1 next week. But all the forwards. Yeah, you can just wait. Of course, no worries at all. It makes more sense to do that. Jason, thanks for all the streams and the last one. No worries, thank you. I love the appreciation factor. It's very nice. Thank you. Good night. Proud of the kissy face. I've had a lot of love lately. Appreciate it. Yeah, give us a like before you guys leave. 65 of you in the chat that have spent the morning or night with me. Well, that sounds weird. Probably the worst way to end the stream. Thanks for spending the night with me, folks. Aqua says, in that case, Brad, good morning. Oh my God, he's done it again. Hawksy, but I could get Ben Keays. Stuff Ben Keays. Anyway, thanks everyone for the stream. It's nothing without you guys. So, I definitely noticed the pick of Kelly Underwood. Trust me, I was just trying to ignore it. So, I appreciate all the fun stuff you guys do in the chat. So, it doesn't get noticed at all. And any of the tweet DMs, I'll get to you tomorrow morning when I'm not doing bottles at 3 a.m. So, good night, everybody. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you on tomorrow after dark. I'm pretty certain. So, catch you, boy.